Question 4 to Jordan. What are your thoughts on 4-year-old kindergarten and WGSD providing the service?
Thanks. This is a fun topic. So 4K, from a personal standpoint, I am definitely not in favor of 4K. I'm in favor of less government. I believe that if the schools deliver a 4K program, this would just add size and scope of government. I also have faith in the parents in our district to deliver the educational needs of a 4-year-old child. Studies have shown that there is not much, if any, benefit to the children beyond 3rd grade. Also, I do not support a 4K program that follows the Common Core standards. But I must consider the financial impact to the Waterford Graded School District. If a 4K program can increase the revenue to the district, then it should be considered. For myself to ever vote in favor of a 4K program, then the following requirements should be met. Number 1, I would require absolute proof that taxes would not go up in the district. The DPI has stated that the state will provide revenue to fund a 4K program and that there would be no need to raise property taxes in the district. My question to the DPI would be to explain where the 4K funding is coming from. I do not believe that the DPA has the ability to print money. So I would require assurances that funding a 4K program would not contribute to an increase in income taxes or sales tax. Number 2, if state aid for running a 4K program were to be discontinued, I would require the program be immediately discontinued. I do not want to place the burden of completely funding a program on the local taxpayers. Number 3, I would require that any extra money in the annual budget directly associated to the implementation and operation of a 4K program go directly towards reducing the property tax burden. If this program is truly about bringing in new revenue to the district, then let's return it back to the hardworking taxpayers of Waterford. Number 4, I would require that the 4K programs be delivered in the local established preschools. If we were to deliver the 4K program in our current schools, it could cause damage to the community. The local established preschools would be driven out of business, which would hurt local families who use the services for their daycare needs. Additionally, if the program was delivered in our schools, we would be required to tax for new buildings or additions in the future if we keep up with the growth of Waterford as the economy begins to grow at a normal rate. Without all these conditions being met, I would feel that I am doing a great disservice to the children and the community by voting yes for a 4K program.
I want to make it clear, I haven't wavered or flip-flopped in my support of 4-year kindergarten. I discussed 4K with the current board almost a year ago, and I questioned why our district did not offer 4K services like 94% of other districts in the state. I was told that 4K was too expensive and not something the board would entertain. I didn't stop there though. I worked with other individuals in the community. We researched this issue properly, and we found that not only is it a benefit to children, but it can be also a major financial benefit to the community. Let's talk about these benefits. First, educationally. Well, you can easily go online and look at study after study that says 4K results in long-term success. I've seen the impact firsthand with my own son and his friends that attended preschool. They were just better prepared for kindergarten. We expect a lot of kindergartners. In talking about 4K, people lament that kindergarten isn't what it used to be. It's not focused on play-based learning. It's MAPS testing, bell curves, and performance. For all intents and purposes, 4K is the kindergarten a lot of us remember. It is play-based learning. The teachers are certified and licensed in early childhood. While it's nice to reminisce about how things used to be, we need to prepare our children for the reality of today. Another argument I've heard is that 4-year-olds should be at home. That is absolutely your family's decision. 4K is not mandatory. But remember, 4K is not full-time like kindergarten either. I've also heard the argument that we don't need more government. I understand that sentiment, but I'm not talking about adding another management level at the DMV. We're talking about giving all 4-year-old children in our community the opportunity to participate in a 4K program. There is a difference, and I hope everybody can see that. I also want to make it clear that I support offering 4K services with the existing preschools in the area. The state of Wisconsin encourages that method, and I agree with them. Just because 4K may not be right for your child, or your grandchild, or your neighbor's child, it doesn't mean it wouldn't be a benefit to a lot of other children in our community. So tell me how it gets better, Tom. Sure I will. We can add 4K service for our community, remain competitive with other districts, and get a huge financial benefit for doing so. How? Here's a simplified explanation. Because our property values have only declined slightly, but our enrollment has gone way down, we look like a rich community in the eyes of the state. We have a lot of property value per student. Now the state has this thing called state equalization aid. They want to make sure the poorer districts, that's their term, aren't at a huge disadvantage to the rich ones. So those poorer districts get more money. It equalizes. Now this is money you and I are already paying in state taxes. It's just going out of our district into those poorer districts. By adding more enrollment with 4K, we make ourselves look poor, and then we keep that money in our district. Now, we're talking about $900,000 a year in additional state aid. That's almost $1 million. I believe, and the math now demonstrates, 4K represents one of those rare opportunities where everybody can win. Adding a 4K program gives our children the opportunity for a better education, provides our district with additional funds, keeps us competitive with other districts, can benefit our existing preschools, and can provide members of this community, everybody here, with additional tax relief. 4K can be a win for Waterford. Sorry for the communication thing there. Thank you.
Tom mentioned 94% of the schools in Wisconsin have a 4K program. Let me ask you this question. Do you know where the Waterford schools stand compared to the rest of the schools in the state? It stands at one of the top schools in the state as is. So why do we need to add more and more programs? Not saying the 4K is bad, but I am saying that I believe our private schools and the title program is a much better avenue than bringing in more state aid. And if we're going to the 4K program, how long until we're at the 3K program, the 2K program? Why not just have it at the hospital? We're just bringing in more and more. And also another question too, and I don't know if Tom may know the answer, we'll find out, but how many kids would actually use it? I know they have projected percentages, but have the parents actually been asked to see how many would enroll into the program?
Okay, well, going into this, I received a couple of flyers over the weekend, and Jordan's friends have been hard at work. And on the flyers, they stated that he unequivocally does not support 4K. Now, his website says something different, like he just explained, where there are some caveats to him supporting it or not. Though at the beginning of his presentation, he said he doesn't, then he kind of changed it, so I'm not totally sure. But I did see one of his Facebook posts that he did say he does not endorse 4K, so I'll take him on that one. These flyers also state that Jordan supports the traditional start of school, kindergarten. Jordan just brought up that statistic. I want to remind everybody that 94% of districts in our state offer 4K, and they have a lot of them for a long time. So a majority of people think 4K is the traditional start of school. It's actually even in our Constitution, state Constitution. We're kind of the oddball in this situation. And just to be clear, you're already paying that $900,000 a year in state aid. It's just going to other districts. It's like at tax time, you hop in your car, you drive over to Burlington, and you hand them $20 and say, here, this is for your brand new 4K program. That's essentially what you're doing. My idea and what I'm supporting is taking that money, not driving to Burlington, keeping it here in our district and supporting the program. Our district has already lost over $3 million over the last 5 years by not having a 4K program. To me, the bottom line is that we have the ability to add 4K to our district, It lets us be competitive with everybody else, including Burlington, who I just brought up and who just voted in 4K services. We can do it by increasing cash flow to the district, and if you're not comfortable and you don't think 4K is any good for your kid or it doesn't provide any value, you do not have to send them. Thank you.